Hi, I'm Roberto Martinez and you're watching Toffee TV.
Right on Twitter, we asked Toffee tweets this week, do we want the Europa League? We've mentioned this before, there was a chance we could get Europa League and the Fair Play League. Now England has that place, so someone who doesn't deserve it for being absolute tarts on the pitch will get a Europa League spot. Which is basically the top and bottom of it, isn't it? People who can't tackle very well.
Any of that is Sam Allardyce's team's in the run for it. No.
It's not just yellow cards, not just red card. It comes down to, you know...
Doesn't it come down to booing?
It comes down to
conduct and stuff.
Manager conduct, fans, whether you play an attractive style of football.
The possession. The possession.
We've won the possessions! It comes down
for winning
all these things comes down to, you know, how long your kit deal is with a certain company. Again, we've won on that.
Have Man United just signed a kit deal for 750 million for 10 years?
Bayern Munich just signed one.
We've done it for 10 years, and so do United.
Bayern Munich just signed one for 750 million with Adidas. Yet both of their players who fell over in that penalty shootout had Adidas boots on. Irony.
Hashtag there will be hate.
They make wool boots now. Amazing.
For Wolves.
For Wolves.
Just for Wolves.
That's why I wears them. So that was the question. So first of all, Europa League. If we managed to get it, we're in the top 3 at the moment. Liverpool top 4 because they're going to get Europa League. Then they get it. So it's either us, West Ham, or Burnley. Next week is the battle. It's the battle next week. I looked at the battle of the top 10 / race for the Europa League Mega Bowl.
Probably.
That's what it's actually going to get called on Sky. Race for the Fair Play League Mega Bowl.
It's not really going to get called that, is it? It's not. There's not going to be any
They're probably not even going to send anyone to cover it. They'll probably just send Kamara. Unbelievable! There's just been a yellow card and that puts Everton out of the running for.
There's probably more on that West Ham game than anything else.
To see Baines not playing anyway, because he loves just giving the ball back to the opposition, doesn't he? Anyway, that's really no.
And another 5.
That's probably why I'm sure he get points for that.
I think Everton have gone Baines come off.
Against West Ham, I just play Pina because he just gets kicked all game, doesn't he? I just play. But fair, you know, Baz, Europa League, do you want it? Honestly.
Yeah.
That it. So 2nd of July.
That's me. I'll be honest with you. That's my problem. Just because last year's pre-season was, well, there wasn't a pre-season basically last season. Starting a bit early. I would if we played the kids in the first.
Well, Matt, Roberto's come out today or whatever and he said, if we got in it, happy days. We've still got to go to the pre-season tour in whatever it is, Thailand, and whatever. That's it. Just 1 game in Thailand, 2 games in Thailand. So that's got to happen. He said, and I think there are that happens when there's a Europa League game as well. So figure that one out for yourselves. But he said, I'll play the kids. Because the first round, I don't even think some of the first teams will be back because there's a European date or international date on is it the 9th or something like that of June, so they wouldn't be back. But he said he played the kids. So again, you know.
Yeah, I'll definitely be keen on it. If you look at, like I said, the pre-season last year, I had no structure to it whatsoever. It was just completely all over the place. And if we were competing in a competition, it would ensure that we have some structure to our pre-season, that players get competitive football, that, like you said, the young lads get a go, and it's clearly not going to bump them in the last few games of this season, so it'll be a good chance for them to play in a European tournament, sample some new venues, get some experience, and I think we should get into the tournament proper. We would have learned from this.
Well, let's be honest, I mean, you know, 2nd of July you turn up, you're playing FC Clive, you know, at the Baron van Strucker Stadium.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It happens, can't take a Fletcher, by the way.
Do you know what I mean? That's what you're playing, you know, FC Anadon at the whatever.
Headache Stadium. Like a non-headache stadium.
Like Rise of the Machines Terminator 3 Stadium or something, I don't know, some wacky name. You were playing no marks, aren't you?
Not good as Dick Sport and good.
No, Dick Sport and good stadium is still the best. That's still the best. So I'm all up for it. I don't really see any problems in it. If we got into Europa League this season anyway, then
I think the problem that a lot of people have with it is they blame how poor we've been this season on the Europa League.
Those people are
that's total fallacy to me. It's just totally incorrect.
The way I look at it is...
I think it's incorrect just from what we've said many times. The manager's own mindset, not the fact that the players...
The only thing that worries me is we interviewed Roberto Martinez last season, and it was a week before the season finished, and we knew we had the Europa League, but we didn't know whether we were going in the group stages or we had to play the qualifying games, draw down to Hull and the FA Cup. And he basically said there's going to be 2 pre-seasons depending on where you finish, and we ended up having no pre-season. So if we've got to start the 2nd of July,
so we'll have to have pre-season.
God knows what's going to happen, but for me, I think
there'll be 3 pre-seasons.
Maybe there will. It's worrying. That's the thing that worries me. But we asked you on Twitter anyway, Toffee TV. John Quinn has said, no thanks, was fun when it lasted and not solely to blame, but we can't compete with this distraction, unfortunately. Ben Kukera said, yes, a club of ours belongs in Europe, except next season we should learn from our mistakes and play our youth. Well, that's sort of what Roberto Martinez said in the early ones. Danny's _FC said, yes, we aim to finish in Europe every season, so why would we want it? Because, only way forward for us. Valhalla Viking has said, absolutely want it. If we are to improve as a team, we need to be in the cup. No excuses. Dave Downey has said, no, we don't deserve it. We don't have the mentality for it. And I despise Thursday and Sunday.
You don't get everything you deserve in football. You take what you can.
I just like the fact that he doesn't like Thursday Sundays. That's brilliant from Dave. Carl Granty has said, he said, what's the point of trying to perform well in the league if you don't want to play in the Europe competition? Which again, I don't fully understand. Jay Baggett 97 said, you meant a squad revamp, yes, but otherwise no. It gives them an easy excuse to perform poorly. Stuart Thomas said, not this season coming. Of course you want Europe, but I'd rather we played better in the league and earned our place there next season rather than getting the back door via the Fair Play League. Now, why?
Didn't Fulham get to the final when they were on the Fair Play?
So would these same people say go to the Champions League and we got someone managed to get a back door way in that because we don't deserve it, we didn't qualify?
It's like it's when people use the Thursday Sunday. If we got the Champions League, what's the Wednesday Saturday?
Exactly, yes.
Chris Jones says 100% yes, might force some decent pre-season preparation too, better than meaningless friendlies. Tom Fox has said not unless we increase the squad size, which is unlikely, apart from a more intense pre-season, I can't see the benefit.
I don't think it's squad size, I think it's quality. Yeah. It's more, you've got kid like Matt Jones, you've got the kids there to bring through, if we can get better players in that squad, that will improve us. Not having 30 players, we only have 25.
I also think it wasn't the size of the squad, it was just the fact that he kept on changing it and played out there. No one ever played it.
Hopefully he will learn from it as well. If whether he learns from his mistakes or not, it's obviously been a bit of an issue this year, hasn't it? But as a manager, you would hope he's looked at it this year and he's learned from it. And when people talk about the Europa League, I always use Atletico Madrid as an example of what it can do for the team.
Oh, you're such a hipster.
No, but they won it twice, and Simeone used the competition to forge a winning mentality. And for so long, they were considered like a team like us who were perennial bottlers. They always faltered away their rivals. They never turned up in cup finals, and he used that to forge a better mentality in the team. And I think if it's used in that way, it can be a great step.
You look at Seville done that. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You watch teams like Seville who know that every year they've only really got one thing they can go for. They understand, and I think this is a mentality shift. Teams like Seville understand their place in Spanish football. They aren't going to win the league. Maybe now and again, if the top teams are so focused on the Champions League, like last year in Spain, they understand also that they're not really going to go down. Yeah. So anywhere in between is good, as long as they get it, as long as they're trying to win that cup.
Two things I look at Seville when they had Fabiano and Canute up front, and on the youth they got the Europa League final twice, and I think if they've been a Champions League place, they got in there, and they've built that, like we just said about Atletico Madrid. But the other thing that is, there's three cup competitions in this country. I was saying off air before, we've got no chance to win the Premier League, well that's one, so we're down to two. We have the Carling Cup and the FA Cup. We always throw the Carling Cup away, so we're left with one, which is the FA Cup. Why not have the Europa League as well? And it's easier, albeit it's about 18 games to win it when you have to qualify. to win the Europa League and get the Champions League that way than it will be to finish fourth.
And what you just said there is like, listen, we're always going to win 10, 11 games around the season, 10, 11, 12 games a season, not a problem. That's always going to keep you like around the top 10 pretty much. Pretty much now, your Europa League is top 7 now. So if you can have a couple of more wins, you're going to get top 7 pretty much on the back of it. And as you just said there, if you've only got certain amount of cups to go for, you go for them. We're looking the way the cups are structured as well. League Cup is the first half of the season pretty much. FA Cup is the second half of the season. So you just think, throw everything at those things. It's the league that you should be, for me, we should be resting players in, not the cup competitions.
The League Cup is the one, that's what I said, 8 games, 7 games to win. Yeah. We've never had a good go at it, and look, as supporters, we want to see them win a trophy. That's what it's all about. 20 years.
That's spot on. And even in Europe, the days away, we've had some cracking ones this year. We went to Wolfsburg, it was brilliant, and I went to Bern, it was absolutely fantastic. And that's what you live for as a supporter, isn't it? Getting to those big games.
I also think Chelsea have sort of shown away this season. Yes, their players are much better than ours, but he played for most of the first half of the season with 7 or 8 players playing every game. And he said, I'm going to get the League One playing this way, and then I'm just going to drive through games second half of the season. You can always say the same for these competitions. You don't need to make all these changes. Right, let's have a few more. Dave Spofford said, of course, a phenomenal opportunity to display our unique mentality, create memories, and slowly swear past teams into a go.
Sounds familiar.
That's tremendous work there.
What was his name again?
That was Dave Spofford, a.k.a.
Where's he gone? Roberto.
Gunderson_Road said, of course, it's what we're fighting for next season in the league anyway, so why not take the opportunity? It's the best chance to get Champions League football, in my opinion, which is right. I actually think it's easier to win the Europa League than get top 4. It's easy. Well, I'm just reiterating.
No, you're right. Of course, you're right.
Everton Canada says, not unless we invest massively in the squad to cope with the Thursday, Sunday games, and that's not going to happen. Yeah, but how do you know it's not going to happen unless we're in the competition?
No, but the other thing is,
that's like saying
play your main team up until Christmas, then they're knackered, rest them in January, they're not tired in September. Unlike our manager thought they were, started resting for no
Bartholomew 53 says, no thanks. There you go. Owen EFC Quakey says, only if we use it in the right way, easy to give the young players experience. This way it doesn't affect League 4. But again, I'm sitting here thinking, well, what difference does it make if it affects League 4? Because all the best we can do in the league now, and I'm sorry if this sounds defeatist, is get back in the Europa League. The Champions League, it's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone.
It'd be an anomaly, wouldn't it? Like Liverpool almost won the league last year, that was an anomaly, that wouldn't normally happen. So if we got in there, it'd have to be a season like that, but it's unlikely.
People were attributing our 5-game run to being out the Europa League, and you look at us the last 2 games, and we've looked like we were earlier in the season. Probably the worst we were throughout the entire campaign was over Christmas, when there was no Europa League games at all. So I think it is an easy excuse to make. It's something that we can use.
Let's just get. This is a strange one, and I'm sorry for pulling you on this, Alexander Rigby. No, 38 league games and one of the cups are priority. Need to finish top 7 and win cup. What do you want to finish top 7 for? Honestly, what do you want to finish? Because you might as well finish 12th and win a cup. Who cares? If you don't want to be in the Europa League, then why finish top 7? That's what,
just to keep money, I suppose, and to keep you in that top elite group of teams, isn't it? But
Goodison View says, beats the pre-season we had last year. Edward Bowman says, if it came along, I would take it. If you think it's a reason we've been crap, then you're asking the wrong question. Well, I'm not asking that question, so whatever. Marcus has said, yes, madness that people are complaining about us getting through the back door. Listen, there's nothing wrong with going through the back door now and again. Liam Henley says, no, even though we just give us experience, we've played the best football this season after we've been knocked out, beat some good sides. Les Roberts says, not if it means starting our season in July. I'd go without Europe next season and go out for all the cup. No excuses. Les, shut up.
that's because you wear tweed. Stop it.
No, I fully agree. If we actually said, right, you know what, we're going to throw everything at the League Cup and then everything at the FA Cup, I fully agree with that. But will that happen? I don't know.
Won't happen because of budgets.
Alex Cog has said, yes, have the strongest BPL starting lineup set. What the bleeding hell's a BPL? Use the squad kids for Europa. No chopping and changing every game. James Corbett has said, yes, no question. People who don't want to see the club in Europe need to reevaluate their reasons for being alive, no supporting them. Jimmy Milner says, possible nice away days to the Pharaohs would be ace and gives the kids a chance to shine all in favour.
James Milner, was it?
It was Jimmy Milner, yeah, slightly on Blues.
Come and sign for us if you want, James. Yeah. Good work, on the left.
Hibbo Copter says, yes, I love seeing us in Europe. Many games means more opportunities for the youngsters. Adrian Egley says, yes, Martinez wants to create memories. Those fans who went to Lille, Wolfsburg, will have them forever, especially Lille because you probably got kettled. We need more. And Ryan Lowe says, the amount of games we've played this year is probably as much as it would take to qualify. Go for the League Cup. So I think that's the balance. The balance is, some people say, yes, we want it. Some people say, no, throw everything at the League Cup or throw everything at the FA Cup. So I agree with both of those camps in a way, but I can't really have these people who say it's a distraction. This is football. You're supposed to win trophies. That's sort of the top and bottom of it. You've got to be in tournaments to win trophies. And
so if we won this year, everyone would have been talking about this season, even though we were rubbish in the league. And if you look back at last year, how much better we were as a whole, that would have been quickly forgotten in the grand scheme of things if we'd gone and won a cup. So that's how important it is.
And I reiterate, Champions League for me, it's gone. Oh, I know that's sad, but it has gone. It's like the top four have just reaffirmed the positions this year. They've got rid of all the issues, whether it be a new manager or paying off a stadium or bedding in new players. All those issues for me now have gone. And when you see clubs like Manchester United going on by the hottest property in Europe, you know, a good 2 months before pre-season starts, then you just think to yourself, well, you know, what's the point? You know, so before we all hang ourselves, I mean, you know, let's have a go for the Europa League. But there you go. Thanks for your sponsors. Don't forget, there's a question every week. #Toffee tweets. Keep sending in your replies.